Hi, my name's Moonpie and I hope you're having a fantastic day. A few hours ago, Tom Henderson, a prolific Battlefield leaker, posted the beta dates of Battlefield 2042. In the tweet, he mentions that media and creators will get access to the beta on the 20th of September in a capture event behind closed doors. Now I imagine this will function in a very similar way to the behind closed doors gameplay reveal that happened a few months ago. They'll then have a couple of days to put together some videos before the embargo lifts on the 22nd of September. On the same day, early access customers who were people who pre-ordered 2042 will get access to the beta as well, with the floodgates being opened on the 24th of September to the general public. Now there's no specified end date for the beta, but I assume it'll have a very similar window as Battlefield 5's, which lasted for a week. If that's the case, then it'll end sometime around the 29th of September. Now whilst this is fantastic, it's important to note that the actual game is being released 3 weeks after the end of the beta, or 2 weeks for people who've ordered the Gold and Ultimate editions. This basically means that developers have so little time to actually implement any feedback from the beta tests. Now, as I mentioned in my previous video, Battlefield 5 had a 2-month window to implement any changes between the end of the beta and the full release of the game. So whilst it's fantastic to see that the beta dates are finally announced, sure, this is more of an early access playtest than a bug-finding beta test, right? Additionally, the developers released some footage of the 4 specialists initially announced with the release of the trailers. I'll let that footage play and then we'll take a look at some of the things that I noticed.
Time to go to work. Let's begin, please.
Let's get started.
I need first aid!
Where's my help?
Thanks!
I've got you, hold on. You're alive, but not safe.
Ready.
Now that we've looked at all the gameplay, let's take a look at a couple things that I noticed. First, you've got Makai who has the grappling hook. Now initially you see him in the C1 objective, but the area around on the minimap is all red, and is something which is also highlighted in the next clip, with a disparity between the white area on the minimap compared to the red area on the minimap. Note that below the minimap, there's an icon that shows he's in Sector D, which then changes to C when he ziplines into the red area. With the increase in player size from 32 vs 32 to 64 vs 64, the devs also introduced the idea of sectors. Basically, a map within a map. Each sector is to be composed of various capture points, with a team that controls the most capture points controlling the sector. This appears to be what's happening here, and it's interesting to see that for this map there are 5 sectors. Now if each sector has 2 or 3 capture points within it, you could be looking at up to 15 capture points across the map. Interestingly, it's important to know that each specialist in the clips has an armor indicator above the HP. Initially, I thought that Irish would have to give the armor to them, but from what we know about Irish, he can only give armor to himself. Now, it's not entirely clear how people are going to be obtaining armor, but it's definitely appearing to be a thing. Next, you've got Boris, the sentry turret operator. Now, back on the topic of sectors, this map has 7. With the F sector having at least 2 capture points. Again, with 2 or 3 capture points per section, you're looking up to 21 capture points, which is a crazy amount. It'll be interesting to see how the balance works for this, but I can just imagine people are running around flat out for the entire game trying to capture points. Now Boris's turret spots and auto-targets people. One of the enemies is highlighted in red. Is this the new spotting mechanic? Enemies highlighted in a bright red? I really hope not, as this would greatly enhance people's ability to shoot you from across the map. A soldier highlighted in a bright red is obviously much more noticeable than the classic Dorito icon or as a mark on the minimap. Something to note from this clip is the abundance in variety in hit markers, which honestly seems a bit ridiculous. You see yellow, red, and white hit markers, all of which have various displays. Some are 1 line, some are 2 lines. What's the difference here? Is this to distinguish between a normal hit marker, breaking armor, a headshot, and a killing blow? This honestly seems a little bit over the top, and I really hope that we're going to have the opportunity to turn these off. You then have Falk, who can revive and heal teammates. Initially, when she was announced, her heal pistol was previously able to revive dead teammates, but based on feedback from playtests, this was changed to just heal teammates instead. Now she appears to be the only specialist who can revive players outside of your squad. The revive animation is also back from Battlefield 5, and it appears to take quite a while, similar to that of the non-medic revive in Battlefield 5. Additionally, on the minimap you can see 2 capture points. The one behind her appears to be extremely small, so I wonder if sectors will be composed of a lot of smaller capture points and then a central capture point which is much larger and where most of the fighting will take place. Finally, you've got Casper, who has the recon drone. It appears you can use this to spot enemies and disrupt their gadgets. Now, I'm not sure if this disruption translates into all tech, like turning off reticles from holo sights and other various scopes, turning off thermal sights, or whether this will instead stop specialists from deploying gadgets. Now, I'm a little bit concerned with the spotting function, which I mentioned previously, but I guess we'll have to see how that is actually implemented into the game. Additionally, Casper has a motion sensor. Now, in the clip, above his HP, you see that a brief motion sensor alert goes off, informing him there's someone nearby. Now, this seems like it's extremely close range to the extent that it won't really be that useful. Also, throughout the clip, you see a number of drivable vehicles outside the typical combat vehicles. It's good to see that players will have a wide variety of means of getting around the battlefield, so I definitely welcome this addition. Overall, it's definitely a good thing to see both the beta dates and the footage for the specialists. Whilst it didn't reveal a whole lot of new information, there was definitely a few nuggets of info there we didn't know before. But what are your thoughts? Are you glad to see the beta dates? Are you a little bit concerned it's coming so close to the full release of the game? Feel free to come and check me out on Twitch, link is in the description, but whatever the case, that'll be it for now, so I'll see you again next time. Bye.